We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cleaner Cast. I see the chat already got it chatting up. We are live here on YouTube, about to talk with Phoenix E.O.D. We can't have a show without my broadcast partner, my Canadian cohort himself, Mr. Alex Dewar. So let's get him on the stream. Going on, buddy?
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How's everybody
Excited
doing
to be
out
here.
there? Yeah, we got Aaron already chatting it up in the chat. Mosquitoes. Ow! In my eyeball. Okay, dude. I literally just shut my garage to prevent this.
Yeah.
They're coming after me. Texas DD, what's up?
Talking about some unicorns and whatnot. So
yeah, I was trying to decipher the chat, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Somebody being
Happy
second.
Friday.
Aaron Burkett's first. Burkett. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
So
And
without further ado. Oh, there's Fred. What up, Fred?
Hey, Fred, what's happening?
Without further ado, Mr. Phoenix E.O.D. himself, Mr. Aaron Burkett. Hello.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Starting it off right.
The inside joke on the unicorn is, and since I have the mic and she can't do anything about it, there's a game that we play often on Instagram where we will be doing like basically 80s trivia. And she fed me the question, the hint, the clue of what movie she was referring to. And it was worded just a little bit weird. So I took it as, what was all of America singing during 1984? Whereas the question was, what did America sing during 1984? So it was kind of like, so I just interpret, and so I got it completely wrong. And then when she revealed the answer, which was like the last unicorn, and she made it like she won and she did all that, she beat me, and I was like, it was a poorly worded question. That's terrible. You did not communicate the question properly. You lose, and that's the official story. And like I said, she can't do anything about it.
All right,
there we go.
That ends that conversation, Miss Texas DD.
Heard it here first, folks.
Yep. Well, right off the bat, Aaron, you have breaking news.
Oh, we're going right there. Yeah,
we're going right for it.
Check this out. We, as of today, have an Australian distributor. We have an Australian distributor.
Very good. Very good.
And you guys probably all know him. His name is Andrew Sampari. I probably just murdered his last name. But it's Auspro Auto Detailing. And he is now my official distributor for the entire continent of Australia, which is great because I would get a lot of emails about, when do you, who can I get it from in Australia? And we finally reached an agreement and shipped him off a whole bunch of stuff today. It's very exciting. Very exciting.
Very
Phoenix E.O.D.
Yeah.
More global. Where's all Phoenix E.O.D. available at right now?
Right now, it's my website. Fab carries it. Fab Automotive Detailing. He carries it on his truck and on his website. Apex Surface Protection carries it on his website. And Carzilla up in Canada has a lot of it. So we are slowly covering the globe.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
Taking over. You see all the great reviews about the brand. Just completely taking over the internet and the detailing forums. I see it all the time on TikTok. Like, I have all the products, guys. You don't have to keep, telling me to go use them. And I agree, they're all awesome.
Try this, try that, try this, try that.
It's amazing. I love when they suggest like the simplest product. And I'm like, yeah, I used that like 8 years ago. Kind of past that.
We've gotten really, really tremendous reviews. And usually if we do have, if somebody will reach out to me or DM me and it'd be like, hey, I don't know if I'm using it right because I had this problem with it, and it really usually is just a really simple issue of like oversaturation or something like that. We've gotten really a lot of Titan for sure. Everybody that touches it loves it. It's easy to sell it because I don't have to sell it. It sells itself. It's I think you and I were talking backstage, and it was like the real motivation behind it. Remember when Apex Auto used to have those whiteboard in the grids, and they would have contests between each other. I remember they used to have he used to do the winners bracket. It would go all the way up, and Fusos was always at the top of the chart every single time. But it was really that it was that whiteboard chart that I really wanted to have all the top boxes checked on Titan. You know what I mean? And it needed to be, it's our flagship. It needed to be the first product to go out there because that's where you're really going to earn the people's trust. You only have one chance to make a first impression. And you only have one chance to make a good first impression. And so my team, we work really, really hard to make what I feel runs with the biggest dogs out there. Everybody has a preference, everybody has a favorite, but I think that we have a product that is so good and reasonably priced and ease of use that really puts us with the upper echelon of the big dogs that have been out there running for a long, long time.
Absolutely.
So.
Piggy PTJ wants to know, when are you going to be on Amazon?
I've been on Amazon. Been on Amazon for about a year now. However, I'm glad that this question was asked, Piggy. Amazon is a really, really finicky monster. And about, I guess I want to say 3 years ago, well, it happened before 3 years ago, but 3 years ago, Amazon really did a lockdown. So what happened was China flooded Amazon with a billion fake accounts and fake products and fake companies, and people would be paying the money, and then it was just a huge scam, and it got out of control. And so about 3 years ago, Amazon really locked down on everything, and especially when it comes to chemicals, they research everything, and they really dig your company apart. And in order to get product on there, at first we had to jump through so many hoops, and I have to take a picture of Titan with today's newspaper and the date and the time to show that you're a legitimate company and that you're for real, and and then you had to send them your SDSs because they don't want anything hazardous or just destructive on in their warehouses and safe for their employees. And anyway, long story short, we spent a lot of money to a really big law firm that works with Amazon. And as of, I want to say 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, we are officially an Amazon branded company. So we are recognized by Amazon as a legitimate company. And that moves our SEO from like past page 20. Even if you were to type in Titan hybrid detail spray, Phoenix E.O.D, it wouldn't come up on your first page. It wouldn't come up on your 15th page. But now that we are recognized by Amazon, yes, Desert Trade 14. It's the same, Aaron.
Yes, and this is about to roll into my next question. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're official, and you can actually find us now, and it makes it a lot easier for us to put our products up, because now we can just kind of shove it up there, and we don't have to go through all the hoops. So you'll be fine. Right now it's just Titan, but in the next week or so you'll see the entire product line. Maybe not the ceramics, because they have to review solvent-based products a little bit more, because it's a little bit it can be flammable in major quantities. So there might be it'll be a little bit longer before we can get the ceramics up there, but definitely we'll get the ceramics up there. But you should see a lot, like at least the 4 horsemen showing up in the next month or so.
Right. All right. Well, let's get into some questions that I have over here.
Sure.
And that one comment that just said, Desert Rat. This is the same Aaron from Extreme Solutions. So, Aaron, you want to give us a little backstory? Who is Aaron from Phoenix E.O.D. for maybe people who don't know that?
Okay. You want the abridged version? Okay, good. Because there's a lot to unpack with that question.
Yes.
Yes, I am formerly of that company. I left there at the end of June of last year and ventured out on my own. So it just got to a point where I needed to move on, and there was a perfect storm happening all around the behind the scenes industry, of car care and things of that nature. There was a lot of stuff happening, and a lot of people were moving all around the board. A few years back, I was able to. I was telling you this story earlier. I was on a fishing trip with my dad in Idaho, and we were fishing for 5 days down the Middle Fork of the Salmon River. And I was basically, it's 5 days of you're off the grid. You there, even if you wanted to call home, it wasn't happening. And I, like, happen chance, was fishing alongside this guy, and about day 2. We're all sitting around the campfires, eating dinner and stuff like that. And he introduces himself. His name is Art Morrison of Morrison AM. And I don't know if anybody knows who that is, but he is one of the big who's who in the automotive universe. Basically, since 1969, if you've been building a hot rod, you've been building it on one of Morrison AM's chassis. That's what he does. He's a chassis king of the universe. He's been at every SEMA show since its inception, 1969 at Pasadena, California, in a flea market, before it's become what it is now, like the world's largest car show in Las Vegas. Anyway, so I'm fishing with this guy for 5 days, and he learns a lot more about me. I learn a lot more about him. And it's we kind of formed a relationship, and he was like, "Hey, you planning on coming out to SEMA this year?" And I was like, "I think I'm kind of burnt out on SEMA." He was like, "Well, if you come out, I will introduce you to all kinds of people." And that was 2019. So 2019, I went out to SEMA. I got to hang out with Art. He did indeed introduce me to all kinds of people. It was really a neat time. We all came home and went back to work. And then COVID happened. And in March of 2020, I'm out of a job. I've been furloughed. I think everybody at that point was questioning their futures and what they were going to do and how they were going to survive the apocalypse. And
right.
Came back from COVID, and things were different. And the team that I built, they decided that they were going to move on. And so Carazino, I know if you know Carazino, who was doing all the videos and Instagram stuff, he left in December. And then Joe left Joe was the ops manager. He left in February. And then Huda was the warehouse manager, and he left in April. And then I left in June. And in that time period, I had Brian from Apex, Brian from Apex, and I'd spend time with him and learn stuff from him. And he was just like, "Hey, you should do it yourself. You can do it yourself. I'll support you in every way, shape I can. We'll work together, and we'll do it. And if you do decide to do it, I will promote you however I can. I'll put you up on my website. I'll let you hang out here. We can do videos, whatever you want to do, I'll do." And that was probably the beginning of the encouragement. And so at that time, I reached back out to Art and I said, "Hey, Art, this is what I'm thinking about doing. And if I can come up with the investors, is there somebody that you might be able to put me in contact with that can help me build some chemicals?" And he said, "No problem." And here we are today. I got a whole team. I got a chemist. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy how far we've come.
I think that rolls into our next question: origin of Phoenix E.O.D.
Perfect segue.
The intro right there.
Okay, that is a loaded question. So Phoenix I was told once upon a time, one of my best friends is a tattoo. He's a tattoo nut, and his wife is a tattoo artist. And he told me a tattoo, like a business name, a tattoo should mean something to you, and having a significance to you if you're going to put it on your body or build your life around it. And so the Phoenix for me has always been a symbol of triumph. And that famous Rocky quote: "It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down; it's how many times you can get back up and move forward." Or something to that.
Yep.
I'm paraphrasing. In 1994, I had an accident where I was clinically dead. They brought me back. It was an accident in Pittsburgh, and so that was the first occurrence personally of a Phoenix.
You're literally the Phoenix,
right? And then my brother, his name is Eric. His call sign is Trainwreck. He was a Marine pilot. In 2011, his plane crashed in Africa, and he lost both of his legs. And 3 years later, he's a gold medalist for the Invictus Games in London, England, for archery. So, it's really, really hard for him, or for me to look at him and not be unbelievably motivated. So his story is one of a Phoenix as well. And I think what ultimately was the deciding factor of me starting Phoenix E.O.D. Was he put a post on his Instagram. And if you go back and you want to follow him, his name is it's at Major Trainwreck, I think is his handle on Instagram. But basically, he's doing these squats of billions of pounds of metal on his shoulders, and he's doing these squats, and he's got no legs, and he's doing squats, and he says, the caption reads, "What's your excuse for skipping leg day?"
Right.
Man, that was the most motivating. It still gets me really emotional to think about it. But yeah, so the Phoenix, obviously you have the story of the Phoenix. The EOD stands for evolve or die. And that's a mantra that I think that I've always clung to. And that is, we have to, as an individual, as a society, in relationships, and when it comes to my business, the chemicals, the chemistry, the products, they have to, it's no longer really an era of rotaries and burning through paint. The paint is thinner. The factories don't make it nearly as level as it used to be. It's softer, and so as a chemical company, you have to evolve to the technology that's out there, or you have to evolve to the deficiencies that are out there. They're cutting costs because of the economy and whatever. They're cutting costs, they're cutting corners. So I think that it would be beneficial to create products that, instead of the consumer, having to bend to, you have to do this trick here and you have to do that, and you can only use this pad here and it's this speed there. Why don't I try to make a product that's more universally adapted to an idiot like myself and someone with crazy talent like you, Jamie? These other influencers that I've worked with, just phenomenal. The Four Horsemen, you couldn't ask for a better team up of guys.
And rolling into the next question.
Jamie's got the segues on point.
Wow. This script is writing itself. So back at the other job, I met these guys and I knew these guys and working intimately with Apex, and then I don't know if you've seen any of Fab's stuff, but he's got an entire lineup of chemicals that I made the labels for him, and we basically working with him and getting the designs for his labels and all of that stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. I got to work with him, and then on the behind the scenes, I was working with April, and he didn't know that I was working with April. And so when we finally got the entire lineup done, I sent her all of these graphics and labels and stuff like that, and she made him a huge poster of all of his labels that we made together, and she presented to him on Father's Day. It was probably one of the coolest Father's Day presents I've ever seen.
Really cool. Yeah.
So, and then how can you not love Papa Smurf?
Yeah.
Right.
He's a ball of energy.
Lovable guy.
Yeah. Yep. He's just great. I've never met a soul as kind as his. He's just. I mean, like you.
I mean, he thanks all the the audience at the beginning of every video. He's just
the man is love. The man is love.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love his energy. I'm having a bad day. Let me call Papa Smurf up, and and he'll be like, "Hey man, it's okay. It's cool. No big deal. What else do you want to do?" He's just great. He's just
Papa Smurf
great.
Pep talk.
Yeah, exactly.
And he loves the barbecue.
And there's nothing better.
And tacos.
Then there was Phil.
And
Phil was kind of Phil was I always admired Phil, and I love what Phil has done and the way that he built his company. And he is a true example of evolve or die. He went from mobile, he's got the whole he's got the mobile, and now he's got the detail layer and stuff like that. He's a true example of that, and such a great guy. And his wife is fantastic. I've been blessed. I've been blessed to be able to work with these four guys. They know their talent. They know the product, and it was really easy to approach them and say, all right, so going back to the chemist. All right, we have four basic products. We have a compound, a polish.
Four ideas for four basic products to start out with.
Right. The soap was the easiest part of it all, because Brian was just like, I wanted, highly lubricious to protect the paint, no color, no scent, and I don't want any fillers in there to hide a ceramic failure. Because if the ceramic is failing, I need to know about it. So I don't want any crap in the soap that's going to mimic or cover over a failing of the ceramic coating. So I was like, all right, that's easy. And so it was like, well, if you put too much lubricity in there, it starts to get greasy and it's hard to rinse off. And I was like, all right, so then why don't we crank it all the way up and then just dial it back to that breaking point, and then just be on that side of the breaking point. And so we have an extremely lubricious soap that, foams. That picture that you have on that truck of just the foam dripping out of it is amazing. It's a fantastic picture. But you can feel, like, when you have your wash mitt on, you can feel just not even touch the paint. It just glides over it. So that was the easy part. And then the other three, we had it kind of had to go in steps, because I really wanted them to all work in tandem with each other. And the diminishing compound, the Papa Cut diminishing compound, it worked great, but then it had like a really lousy cycle time. And I remember, well, you didn't ask. Everybody else asked. I'll send it to you there, Chief. I'm watching it on the delay over here.
Soap is very good.
Yeah. And so then the Papa Cut, we needed to give it a longer cycle time, and is it too aggressive? Is it less aggressive? And because we had the diminishing feature to it, that was a lot of fun to go back and forth. But it turns out that it finished down so well it finished down so well that we had to redo the polish because the polish was now more aggressive than the finish of the Papa Cut. And so that pushed, like I don't know if you guys remember, but I didn't launch the Four Horsemen until October. It was Halloween when of last year when we launched the product. And it was because we had to go back to the drawing board for the polish because now we needed it to be more of a jeweling finish polish than like a nice cleaning polish. They're all very pad dependent. So if you need to get more out of it, use a firmer pad. It's designed around a foam pad, but I think Fab really likes using the Eurofiber 50/50s.
I think he's known for his finishing abilities as well. So perfect, person to work on that finishing polish.
Yeah, absolutely. You couldn't have two better guys working on it because they both really like what they, each person worked on something that they really liked, except for Phil. At first, he really wanted the Titan, and I couldn't give Titan away because it's all part of a bigger scheme. After the Four Horsemen, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm really sticking around the ancient Roman
Chronos, Titans,
right? And here coming out June. It's going to be the
next
Kraken.
month.
That's right. The Kraken is coming out. Should be here by June, if not like 2 weeks into June, depending on how quickly I can get these labels done and whatnot. But it's the Kraken. It's an all-purpose cleaner.
APC.
Really excited about it. It's super concentrate. We're going to sell it. As a super concentrate, and the marketing platform behind it is I have dilution charts, and I'm going to give you a bottle, an empty bottle with the order, so that you can cut it however you want to cut it to do whatever you want it to do. So you'll have a full bottle and an empty bottle, and then you can use the chart, come up with the dilutions that you want. But at like 20-1, you're doing headliners and interiors. It doesn't leave any of that white residue behind. It doesn't have any of that weird streaking that you can sometimes get when an all-purpose cleaner, how like after you've wiped it off, you can still kind of see that weird residue. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, at 1-1, you're cleaning engine compartments and rims and wheel wells. This stuff it's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. And again, I owe it all to, my chemists. And then, Papa Smurf, he gave me a lot of great feedback on that. And that's right. Unleash the Kraken on your toughest stains and soils.
Perfect name.
But yeah, he didn't want something overly powerful in the interiors. He said, a good scent is great, but if you're stuck in an interior of a car for 2 hours cleaning it, it gets to be overwhelming and nauseating, right? So keeping it light, and we're keeping it simple. So the end results, it's going to be like a green tea color, and it smells like light green apple.
Can't beat that.
Smurf love
good smelling APC,
right?
That's exciting.
It's not overpowering. It's not like it's all you smell is green apple. It's just very light, very simple, and it gets the job done very, very quickly and efficiently. And then, like I said, if you need something a little bit more, then you can dilute it however you want. You got a full free bottle there.
Looking forward to that. So back to influencers. We were on Miranda and Awesome Wax because he wanted Titan.
He did. He did
his flagship, which I can understand fully on that. I mean,
who doesn't? It's a beautiful. But again, I just in my brain, I just had the
plan
being something different, right? So so when he signed on to the wax, again, I said you guys can name it whatever you want, give it whatever color you want, whatever scent you want. We have the magic wand. We can do whatever we want with this stuff. And Phil, he embraced the wax and he really liked it. And he's like, I want to close my eyes and think that I'm on a beach drinking pina coladas. And I was like, all right, buddy, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do pina coladas and you'll be on the beach. And so, unfortunately, with the powerhouses that are in the Glossom wax, excuse me, I got getting parched on that.
Yep, go ahead. So I think it's PTFE silicone base.
And because of that stupid Fusos challenge that Brian had up on his I got Teflon in it too. I wanted it all. I said, I put the whole kitchen sink in there. Everything that we can throw into this bad boy, let's do it. So it's got synthetic waxes in it, because you want to have a really nice gloss power to it. The protection of the Teflon and the durability of amino resins. And now I learned about amino resins back in the old country. Amino resins are really an interesting polymer, and that when you allow it to cure, it cures really, really, really hard. And so you can get a hand wax to last like up to 9 months if you allow it to cure like you would with a ceramic. So you would use this the exact same way that you would with a ceramic. And you're getting, 9 months to a year worth of durability out of it. But because of all that other fun stuff in there, you still also have, that really nice pop and that gloss and that wet look. So I think, if you go down the two schools of thought, people either really like ceramics or they really don't like ceramics. And so I think glossing was really set to appeal to those that don't really want to, because
jump on into the ceramic
ceramics
world.
can be intimidating, and they really can be. And
Yes.
for someone like myself, I've never put a ceramic coat in on my car. I take it over to Jason and let Jason do it because who wants the village idiot working on ceramics that is going to be on there for 7 years?
Yeah, that's why durability tests are so popular on YouTube. Everybody's looking for the easiest to apply but longest lasting, whatever it is on their paint. But we're like, throw ceramic on it. But some people aren't ready for that. So this gloss and wax is definitely a good item to have in the arsenal.
Absolutely. So yeah, those are my four horsemen, and and I want to make sure that I cover this. They could not be more supportive. They could not be more supportive of me. Everything that I've ever wanted to do with these guys or ideas, Phil and I he has no problem with me calling him and picking his brain over something. All of these guys have been overwhelmingly supportive, and I mean, blessed is the only word. Blessed with being able to work with these professionals.
Some really great people to bounce ideas off.
Yeah, certainly a big family, and as long as you can kind of filter out the negativity, because there are those that just want to be negative with everything. If you can filter that out, just network with the right people, it can spread like wildfire. I think that's a big takeaway in growing a business, and especially in detailing. Especially like you touched on earlier with the pandemic, everyone's at home. Everyone's wanting to clean their cars, do something, because especially like happening start of March, you're getting right into detailing season for a lot of places, and the weather's warming up, so everyone's wanting to learn how to wash their cars and go on YouTube and checking out things. And I mean, I think just the new businesses and driving competition is awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And at the same time, like I don't know if I've fallen under a lucky star, but I mean, every one of these people in the chat rooms and in the emails and in the forums, they have all been overwhelmingly supportive as well. Like, it's not just the four horsemen, but I mean, like, Humberto and Didi and I can go down this whole list, and I'm not going to list every name because I know that I'm going to exclude somebody, like Paul Rogers and Ryan. Everybody has been unbelievably supportive, and they appreciate the hard work. And then when they come back and they say, "Hey man, you're onto something, keep it up." Like Paul Rogers, keep up the great work. Like those are, like, that's it, man. And
simple things.
Yeah, and I get 100 positive remarks to one negative remark. I still want that one negative remark. I want, hey, let's have that conversation. Let's talk about it. Maybe
Exactly.
Maybe it's not working for you, or maybe we did something wrong. Let's talk about it. You're never going to get everybody to agree, but so far I think we're up there in that.
Yeah, a good constructive criticism comment is always welcomed. It's the real negative Nancy's you got to avoid.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly right. It's one of those things I learned back in management school, where it was like, if you don't have a solution to the problem and you're just stating problems, that's not very constructive and it's not very helpful. You should have an idea of, hey, have you considered maybe doing this or doing something like that? And that ties right into EOD, evolve or die. These set products, they're great, but a year from now, the technology is going to change. 2 years from now, the paint's going to be different. 3 years from now, you have no idea what you're going to encounter. And so I want to hear what didn't work for you, especially in the trial and error stage of things, where it's kind of like, well, what didn't work for you and why? And so now let's go back to the drawing board and fix it and figure out why it's not working.
And you having this line to all these detailers that are still, I just finished one up right before this, so we see that paint coming in. That was a 2022, so if Titan's giving me trouble, I can immediately come to you, be like, hey, this happened today on this paint. It's 2022. I don't know what's going on. Right. We can workshop it. Yep.
Yeah, I remember how I got started. When I got started, I should say. When I got started thinking about that kind of stuff, there's a guy down in Florida that used a product, and it was February, and so in Florida it's 70 degrees and sunny, 70, 78. We're up here, it's 40 degrees. So you could have a product work exceptionally well in a colder temperature. And then as soon as it gets hot, the flash cycle went to zero. And so you're getting less than 2 passes, with your machine, you're getting less than 2 passes. And now it's like, okay, hold on. We've got 4 months to crack this puzzle before the entire continent warms up. And everybody's going to have this problem. And so it's kind of like, all right, we need to figure out why it worked here and didn't work there, and then reconstruct the problem and then find out what the solution is, so that when everybody starts having that problem 4 months from now, all you have to do is this. It's not that big of a deal. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. People, I find, forget environment, and up here where I am, it's pretty harsh. Jamie has the complete opposite of harsh, and your Aaron is kind of smack dab in the middle, as we kind of talked about it. And people will immediately say, it's, product's crappy, it's, smeary, it's whatever. But then they forget to ask questions. It's like, where are you? Consider things. If it's hot and sticky and wet outside, what do you think's going to happen? 5 and 7 0 temperatures, what do you think's going to happen?
Speaking of influencers, and this particular subject matter, there's a guy that everybody probably here knows. His name is Tim Pitcher, Shine Your Light Detailing, smack dab in the heart of South Carolina.
I think he's in the chat here.
Is that right? I love sending him stuff. I will send him all kinds of weird stuff because he's mobile, he's outside, it's South Carolina and about as humid as it gets. So, I mean, it's like the perfect testing ground of just hell on earth. I don't know. He just
testing ground and experience with how experienced he is.
So good at it.
He's seen it all.
Exactly, Ryan. Titan Tim. And so I send him stuff, and he's like, this worked in direct sunlight. This, just awesome. And so, he really, really became a, excuse me, a real cheerleader for my ceramic coatings.
There you go. Let's get into them. Give us a breakdown, of Chronos and Immortal. Coming to the end here.
Yeah, you gotta. I'm sorry. I know that you have a hard breakout.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
So we got Immortal, and we got Chronos, and Chronos comes in 50 milliliters and 100 milliliter bottles. Depending, you're getting 4 or 5 cars out of the 100 milliliter bottle. So, you send the stuff down to Tim, and he puts it through the ringer, and I can't get into a whole lot of detail about it because there's like non-disclosure agreements with the chemist that I worked with.
Okay.
But bottom line is that there are a lot of coatings out there, and some of them perform great, and some of them don't perform at all, and they all have different whatever. Yeah. What's really cool
made in China.
Yeah, exactly. What's really cool about my ceramics, the Chronos and the Immortal in particular, because ceramics is an umbrella term. You can have SiO2, which is silicon dioxide, and you can have polyxylazine or whatever.
Xylazine.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's also different percentages of those active ingredients, and so it's really hard to talk about percentages and things of that nature, because if you have a high percentage of a lousy ingredient, it's still going to be lousy, but if you have a lower percentage of an amazing ingredient, it could be really, really great. So people get into the weeds about that kind of stuff, and okay, if that's what matters to you, that's what matters to you. I on the other hand, like I said, am a village idiot, so I just care about the end results. And if it looks good and it works and it does exactly what the bottle says it's going to do, that's a win for me. Yeah. And all of the technical know-how, well, I guess that's for people to get paid more. So
I'd even debate if people even read instructions. People have to use it and assume that everything is used the exact same way. I'm guilty of it too. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, if it says it does one thing, then expect those results. That'd be great.
That was actually the first conversation that I ever had with Fab. Was I said I'm not looking for positive smoke. I'm just looking for the truth. And he said, I got he said that that's his measuring stick. If it doesn't do what the label says it's supposed to do, that's where you pass or fail. Unfortunately for me, it says it's going to do this. It didn't do this, so I'm going to have to pass. It says it's going to do this, and it did do this, so it's a win. Anyway, I want to get this. This is really important about what makes this different than everything else that's out there, and that's ultimately what I want people to understand, that Phoenix is different than what's out there. It's not a relabel of B&B. It's not a white label. It's not this cookie cutter crap that everybody keeps, just again slapping their own label on there and calling it their own, changing the color, changing the scent. That something that I learned in a previous life that is that's not what I want for my company.
Yeah.
And I want to have control over my products, and I want control over they're my proprietary formulas. They belong to me. And I can use 1,000 different toll blenders, but it's my formula. And it's who wants to bake my cake? Here's the recipe. But anyway,
exactly.
So the cool thing about Kronos and Immortal is that, and this is an oversimplification for this conversation. All right, it's an oversimplification for this conversation. But there is an ingredient. Let's say there's 5 ingredients that are the powerhouse of Kronos and Immortal. There's an ingredient in Immortal that in its raw form is not allowed in the United States in its raw form. Right? You just can't get it. So if you basically take 2 ingredients and put them together, say in Western Europe, and then have those 2 ingredients brought in, and then the rest of it's made, you have a whole different product. You have a whole different product out there that's not available anywhere else. And that's the key to this whole thing, is that, all right, we're going to do something different, and we're going to do something better. And if we can't get it, we're going to figure out a way to get it. This stuff has been tested over 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. It lasts 7 years. It's 9H plus. And anybody that's used it knows that its flash time is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You get a false flash around the 2-minute mark where you get that famous rainbow effect that everybody loves. But it's not done. It's not done yet. It's still got another 3 minutes to go. So the average is like 4 to 5 minutes before you need to take it off. Which means that now you've opened up from a 2-foot window of working a panel to now working the whole panel. In direct sunlight, just ask Titan Tim. In direct sunlight, in South Carolina, in humidity. Titan rocks, man. It rocks. It's just a better product.
Well, I mean, if you're running a business too, and not a weekend warrior that, get around a car in 30 minutes, and that's more money in your pocket because less time spending on it.
Yeah, and the thing is,
simple math.
I am a firm believer, and listen, this is a God's honest truth. I'm a firm believer in I don't need to gouge anybody. I don't need, this is a 100 milliliter bottle. It sells for $1.89. This is a 50 milliliter bottle. It sells for $1. So I think a lot of places out there are selling the 50 milliliter for $150 and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. You're getting 4 cars out of the 100 milliliter bottle. As a mobile detailer, that is just bank. That's just pure money. And so I don't need to charge a stupid amount of money for this, because I just need to cover my costs. And I just want to put a better product into people's hands and make their lives easier. Like I think I answer most of my emails with, "Hey man, we're all in this together. All of us are in this together." And I could not be sitting here. I could not be making these products without every one of you guys, the influencers, Jamie, the support that you've given me. I sent you pictures. Hey man, can you touch this up a little bit? Because I'm horrible at taking pictures on this stupid Android, and you always clean things up. Like, again, we're in this together, and I am humbled by the support and the love that I've gotten from everybody that I've encountered in this mission, this quest. And so, that's
a great group.
Yeah, that's my final statement. That's my final statement. I couldn't be here without you guys, and I'm eternally grateful. And if that means that, I give you a superior product at a cheaper rate, that's my gift, my return to this investment that you guys have given to me.
So as soon as someone starts talking to you, as soon as you start talking to me, you could feel the passion, into the products. You really wanted me to try them out. And, like we've gone 47 minutes. This is the longest cleaner cast so far, probably.
Sorry.
Talked, 40
I told
minutes. The passion is there.
Hey, that's okay. We can talk about this all day. Yeah.
All day. So if anybody has any last minute questions, type it in chat right now. We'll do a short Q&A, and then we got to get out of here.
Check them out.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm long-winded. Sorry.
No, great stuff. Right. I think this has been a tremendous episode.
Yeah. Very good.
Got anything, Doer?
Yeah. I guess kind of my little question is, where can everyone find you?
There you
go. I have Phoenix E.O.D on Instagram, Phoenix E.O.D Facebook. My website is www.phoenixeod.com. You can email me at Aaron@PhoenixEOD. I'm my hours, East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. I think we had a discussion earlier, DD.
Yep.
My hours are 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. every single day. And I will respond to you, email or text message. If I see it, I will respond. And I would love for you guys to follow me on Instagram. And here's something else that's really important. Again, all circling back to we're all in this together. Anybody that tags me in one of their posts, I will repost everywhere. I'll do it. I think it's important that we're all in this together, and that if you have just the smallest amount of faith in me, I would not be doing my due diligence to pay it forward with anything and everything that you guys said. So,
Ricky A. looking at Harbor Freight 6-inch polisher. What do you guys recommend? Ricky, go check out Griots. I'd say is your next step, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And if
I bought a lot of stuff from Griots as well. Don't tell them.
To kind of add to that, like even if you just do a couple paid jobs, a Rupes will pay for itself. It's changed my life. So it's it's a lot, but if you get a couple,
don't let Mike hear that.
It'll pay for it. So
hey, Paul Rogers, just to let you know, I just put a ton of merchandise up on the website. So I got all kinds of crazy work. You guys have to see this. I should have led with this. Look at these coasters. Where are we at? Look at these coasters. This is Fab.
Mm-hmm.
This is Apex.
Ooh.
Look at this. This is gorgeous.
I wouldn't want to put anything on it.
Right.
Papa Smurf.
Dang. Yeah.
Look at Miranda's. Miranda's is just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that one's nice.
Why would you put a drink on that? I mean,
and the way that Fab makes them, every single one of them, it's like a tie-dye T-shirt. There's no two alike. The way that he makes them, every single one of them is a little bit different, but the color schemes are still the same. Oh, and then of course,
very cool. Oh, there you go.
So we got Phoenix and the Four Horsemen coasters. I got Phoenix and the Four Horsemen decals. I got these great new banners. They're all up on the website. Everything's all on the website, Paul. So
I'm going to start an argument. It's decals, not decals.
Oh boy!
It's what? It's what?
Don't even know nothing.
It's decals
stuff. Yeah, it's decals. I don't care what anybody says. Not decals, decals.
All right.
I think that's a good period to end this whole show out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Otherwise, the chat's going to be blowing up.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
I had to do it. Had to do it.
Deckle. Is that like jalapenos and fajitas?
Yeah.
Kind of.
All right.
So. All right. Well, Aaron, this was a heck of a show. It was a great having you on. As soon as Kraken pops up, we'll probably have you on again because I think you just have so much more to say. And stories to tell.
Part 2.
I would do Phoenix E.O.D. Again, any love you can show, I would be more than happy to. I'm really honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Yep, for sure.
Chad, everybody, thanks for coming. Mr. Dewar, I know you have something you've got scheduled, so thanks for coming as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great meeting you, Aaron. I'm sure we'll be chatting a lot more.
Yeah.
So.
I hope so, Alex. Alex, DM me and give me your info, and I'll make sure that that you're properly armed for the.
Sure.
He can head over to Carzilla. He's right down the road.
Yeah. So we'll be in touch. So thanks again, everyone, and everyone in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. So it's I wouldn't want to do anything else on Friday night. So
nope. Good times. We'll be back next week with Tom from Buff Bright. I do believe is scheduled for next Friday. So a heck of a show there too. We'll see all you guys there. Thanks for everybody coming. Thanks, Aaron. Awesome stuff. Bye.
Talk to you.
See ya.